It's time for our business brief with Amanda Lang, host of Taking Stock, which airs Friday evening at 6 on BNN Bloomberg and on the iHeart Radio network. Busy Friday, Amanda.
Yep, lots going on.
Lots going on this week. Let's start with housing. Big news throughout the week. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tells Canadians to stay tuned on housing solutions. The federal Liberal cabinet is promising to help find ways to fix the housing crisis, but without any specific new plans to do so. A lot of numbers, especially here in Montreal, for example, housing starts compared to Toronto and Montreal are really, really low. There's almost nothing getting built here. What's your take on all of this?
I mean, I think there were hopes, and I would put myself on this list too, David, that we'd see something come out of that federal cabinet retreat. If there were hopes, they were kind of stoked by the prime minister. You know, they brought in housing experts like Mike Moffat to brief them. It isn't really the kind of thing that should come out of a retreat like that. So maybe it was all kind of false promise to begin with. We are looking to the federal government for some kind of guidance here, and that's not because it's their jurisdiction. We know it's not. This is provincial, it's municipal, and yet it's such a big national issue. They are owning it. Canadians do blame them, whether that's fair or not. So I think we can expect to see something come, and I hope it's sooner rather than later, just by way of thought leadership, if nothing else. There are things they could do, right? If we think back to kind of, post-World War II, the CMHC was founded to help build homes. They can do that kind of thing, and I think people are hoping that they will.
Well, the CMHC says we need 5.3 million homes or 5.6 million? Was that the figure?
5.8.
5.8.
And we should note they're going to update that number. They're working on a report right now to revise that number in the next week or so. And my guess is it's going to go up, not down. So, we have a huge delta. And to your point on starts, we're not seeing the pace of building we need to see. And that comes back to developers and their own costs and mortgage rates. The incentives aren't there for people to build right now. And that is the gap we're seeing, because we definitely need them building, and they're not building even the way they were a couple of years ago.
Absolutely. I don't want to talk about politics, but on the economic side, I mean, we're hearing a lot and more on the political side, people trying to link immigration to the housing crisis. On your side of the fence, the economics of it, do you see any evidence of that?
I mean, there is a straight up supply-demand scenario where if you are growing your population base, and that happens through temporary foreign workers, it happens through new permanent residents, it happens with, as we saw brought up this week, students, foreign students, then you have demand for housing. This is just that simple.
Sure.
Not necessarily homes to purchase, but certainly rental units, right? 'Cause some of those folks would want to land in rental units, and then that just creates kind of a pushing out of the people that are already in that market. So for sure there's a link. Now, longer term, we can have a good discussion, right? We know immigration is good for the economy. It has been good historically. It does grow the overall demand pie. So our jobs are safer and better when there are more of us, in the country. We just know that ultimately it's a positive. There's a short term, though, where it does cause trouble, right? Because people have to live somewhere. And, I don't know about you, but you may have seen the pictures of people outside of a refugee center in Toronto, literally sleeping on the street because there's nowhere for them. So we invite people here. We'll give you a safe harbor, but we won't give you a bed to sleep in. That's not ideal. So we do need some emergency measures to bridge over the gap to what ultimately should be a positive thing.
No, and we have the same type of situation here in Montreal, but at the same time, what I'm trying to get to ultimately is that, again, leaving the politics out of it. The fact is, the way if Canada wants to continue to grow, one of the solutions definitely is going to have to be more immigration, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, and in fact, it's to our great advantage that we can welcome the people we do. I think we should take pride in the fact that when we opened up the application to existing H-1B holders in the U.S., in other words, people who are in America qualified for jobs, we opened up our system to say, hey, you want to come here? I think it was oversubscribed in days. I mean, people do want to come here. That's amazing. That's good for us. But what I liked this week about this cabinet retreat is Sean Fraser was immigration minister. Now he's housing minister. Those files are very closely linked. And he has intimate awareness of both. And that's important. And I think that'll get us to a place where he does say things like, should we cap
Mm-hmm.
student visas or not. And maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't, but we should be asking the questions for sure.
Absolutely. For a few minutes I have left, another topic which caught my eye was the debt among Canadian millennials is at record levels.
Mm-hmm.
How worrisome is that?
I mean, it is worrisome in the short term. This is a generation we're concerned about because it feels like they're a bit behind the eight ball. Really what's happened here, RBC kind of quantified it this week in a report, their debt has gone up mostly because mortgage and interest costs have gone up. So in the short term, we've seen like 25% increases in those numbers, and incomes have only gone up about 12% in the last few years. So one is outstripping the other by a big amount. If we see rates come down, they should match up better. So this could be a short-term scenario, but it will leave a lot of these younger folks with more debt than they should have, and that can be a problem if it's not matched up against, for instance, a house that appreciates in value. So it's a warning signal. It may right itself in some ways in the next few years as incomes continue to rise, but it's a problem, and I have to say it's another sign that we have to actually kind of sort some things out for younger generations so that they can do as well as their parents did.
Very insightful as always. Thank you so much for your time, Amanda.
Great to talk.